What is happening, crew? My name is Brent, and I have a big passion for reading and for learning new things. And something that I've been really excited to bring to this channel is positive book reviews for you guys. I bit off a really big reading goal for 2022, and I'm excited to share those good books that I read this year and great books that I've read in the past. And I'm really hoping that you all get some good recommendations and get something out of it in the discussions. Please feel free, if you ever have any recommendations or books that you would like me to review, please leave them in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get into it. You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Here we go with Dr. Joe. Woo! About 2 years ago, I packed up my car and moved from my native California, I lived here my whole life, to Florida. And something that my mom gave me was a book on tape version of Becoming Supernatural, which is Dr. Joe's newest book. And I listened to that tape over and over and over again. And ever since then, any book, any video, any material that I can get or listen to of Dr. Joe, I have seeked it out. And I am such a huge fan of his work and his story. And this book is wow. This book is wow factor 9, honestly. What I love about this book and about Dr. Joe's work is that not only did he sustain a big injury and figure out how and commit himself to how and fixed himself, but his passion to share that with others and share those stories of those other people who had, as he beautifully puts it, steps into the river of change and does the extraordinary, literally making your mind matter, as he says, and getting yourself into a place, into a state of mind where you are turning the software into hardware, when you are making the change in your mind to be able to be well, or to change your life, or to go in a different direction that, for whatever reason, your habits or your temperament or the way that you are has led you away from. And what I love so much about this book is that Dr. Joe doesn't hold back any of the research or data. The proof is in this book. It is here. He is giving you examples of people who have done it. He is giving you examples of studies that were done to people who were in his meditation groups and providing that science in here and showing us that we are extraordinary, that we can literally commit ourselves and do the impossible. And when you come across a book or a teacher or anything like that, I always have just jumped right in, and of all the spiritual and scientific and everything in between teachers that I've seeked out and researched, I just don't feel like anybody puts it as beautifully or gives me so much inspiration as Dr. Joe does. I literally, when I'm in the gym and I'm not feeling my rap or techno that day, I have Dr. Joe literally speaking in my ears through one of his podcasts, getting myself into the zone, getting myself into the river of change. And whether it is your health or something that you desire or who you want to be or any of that, it's just such a wonderful examination of all those things. This book gets into neuroscience, psychology, biology, hypnosis, stories of people in extreme circumstances, often with serious health conditions, and literally changing their minds or allowing themselves to be a part of the experiment of being the placebo. And these people telling themselves that, okay, yep, this mock surgery's, I got the real surgery. This worked. This worked for me. Okay, this could be a sugar pill. No, this is the real pill. I am better. When I decided to do book reviews on the channel, I knew that this was going to be the first book that I wanted to recommend. I am such a huge fan of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I have done his online advanced course. I will leave the link for his website in the description below. I have also committed and done the practices and his meditations. You can also find those online. And he also includes his meditation in the back of this book. And it is just phenomenal. Again, as he says, stepping into the river of change. And I'll also include the link to his YouTube channel. And on that channel, he has people come on and tell their stories of transformation. Literally telling you the whole story of where they were at and how they were scared and how they were desperate or they were in need of some type of change in their life, and how they changed their mind and how they overcame and how they used the meditation and the practice to advance and get themselves to the place that they wanted to go. And I'm just so inspired by this book, and I highly recommend it. Digital Finance by Baxter Hines. As some of you know, the heart and the lifeblood of this channel has been my father and I talking to you about blockchain and about tokenization and the positive changes that those things can make in global financial systems. And I have yet to read a book that has done a better job of explaining that and getting into that as this book does. I am just wowed with how awesome this book is. I'm constantly going to the bookstore and trying to find books that discuss these types of things like blockchain and what's coming down the pipe in the future and how we can get ahead of that, how we can get to understand the trends that are coming. You know what? Getting just a little bit of different ideas and information about what's to come. And this book, wow, this baby is packed. What I love about it is the author takes the reader down the path to start just of explaining what blockchain is. Real quick, being a digital ledger. And whereas a lot of books right now and a lot of content get into cryptocurrencies and things of that nature, and he does approach some of that as well. But he gets into security tokens, and security tokens being basically the digitization of securities, taking things like bonds and stocks and real estate and all types of different property, and digitizing those things and putting them onto the blockchain. And doing that based on what we know about the blockchain and what he describes, is that it is going to make those things be able to be traded faster, and giving a form of security to those things that they haven't had previously. And something that he gets into a lot, and I thought was brilliant, is unlocking the value of those securities, of those products. There's so much trapped potential in all of those things that we have yet to get to. But if you digitize them and put them onto the blockchain, it would free a lot of that value up. But he also gets into case studies, and breaks the book up that way as well, by giving us different stories about, for example, Gold Standard, and about different companies that have that could have used blockchain in the past, or in the present, or to come in the future, where they ended up in a situation where their product or what they are using would have benefited by being on the blockchain. And so you get wonderful examples of that. And this book, as he puts it, unlocking the real potential of blockchain. And it is just a fascinating study of what is to come and what is possible, and what countries and corporations and businesses and people like us are doing with it already. And something that I'll link in the description below is the author did several videos discussing the book, and those videos are fantastic as well. I definitely suggest going through and watching those, and I highly recommend this book. This is a way to, if you're an investor or if you're a business person, just understanding even just tokenization, and taking things and letting the blockchain, anything that is a supply chain, really taking those things and letting them be a little more efficient and getting the value. A great example is just blockchain does a great job of cutting out intermediaries. So these people that are coming between you and your investment, and taking a cut, just by saving money there, would open up so much more value for you and I, and for businesses and countries all around the world, governments all around the world. So yeah, I cannot recommend this book highly enough. If you guys want a crash course on what blockchain is, and about the benefits of what it can do for securities, and for the future of cryptocurrencies, and just understanding the future of the digital age in finance, I highly recommend Baxter Hines' book, Digital Finance. The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. This book to me is really two parts. It is the I am, and when you go on this journey and and listen to the words and go into depth about that and about how special we are and what we are and what we're capable of, it not only helped me just remember to have self-love and to appreciate myself, but it's such an excellent reminder to do that for everything around you. And that's where I started to get into the book and started to settle in, and I just had such a happiness and such a peace. So good. So good. The second part of this book that I love, and it just really gets into and dives in, is dream fulfillment. And basically, to sum it up, I would say it describes dream fulfillment as identifying your desire, giving it your attention, and being present with it to the point where most of us would say, okay, I have a dream and that's in the future. It's about literally pulling that future dream in and making it your present. Manifestation 101. So embodying your dream. And there was no better example that I found than in the book of the moth to the flame. When a moth is so attracted to the flame that it will fly into it and, in essence, be consumed by it. I took that example and that phenomena that happens to moths and flames as me being the moth and the flame being my dream. And instead of looking at the fire consuming the moth, looking at it as them becoming one. It is the moth's willingness to go into the flame and turn into it, essentially. The two becoming one. And in terms of looking at that, as far as conquering our dreams goes, I love that example of just going for it, being completely committed, having a little bit of camera shyness, but doing a channel, doing a show right now, talking to all of you, committing yourself to being whatever it is that you seek out to be, and focusing on that and focusing in on it in a way that you can tune out outside distractions. And this book is all about that. And I love it. I absolutely loved it. I've already read through it twice now. And it's going to be one of those books I know will be on my bedside forever. And I can go back and just be reminded of it when I need a little bit of motivation, or I need a little bit of love for today, for moving forward, and for getting after it on things in my life. This is that kind of book. Being aware in the moment and just seizing the time, carpe diem, making whatever future dreams you have, making them reality right now. Being that person where your dream is alive in you right now. And I'm rooting for all of you. I'm rooting for all of you. I know you're rooting for me, and I appreciate that. And yeah, I cannot recommend this book more highly. It is a wonderful study in metaphysics. It is a beautiful read, and I feel like my mind just opened up so much because of it. And yeah, power of awareness.